Master Your Mind, the Ultimate Self-Discipline Audiobook. Chapter 1. What is self-discipline and why it matters? Self-discipline is the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it, whether you feel like it or not. It is the willingness to delay gratification, resist temptation, and stay committed to your long-term vision even when the present moment is uncomfortable or unpleasant. Self-discipline is not about being rigid or joyless. It is about being in control of your life. Many people confuse self-discipline with willpower. While they are related, they are not the same thing. Willpower is the ability to resist temptation in the moment. Self-discipline is the broader ability to consistently act in alignment with your goals and values over time. Willpower is a finite resource that gets depleted throughout the day. Self-discipline is a skill that can be developed and strengthened through practice. The importance of self-discipline for success cannot be overstated. Research by Dr. Walter Mischel, famous for the marshmallow experiment, showed that children who were able to delay gratification at age 4 went on to have better academic performance, healthier relationships, and greater life satisfaction as adults. Self-discipline is a better predictor of success than IQ, talent, or socioeconomic background. Consider the story of Colonel Sanders, the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Sanders did not start his successful restaurant franchise until he was 65 years old. Before that, he had experienced numerous failures, including being fired from multiple jobs, losing his restaurant, and going bankrupt. But he had the self-discipline to keep going, to keep refining his recipe, and to keep knocking on doors until someone said yes. Self-discipline is also essential for maintaining good health. People with greater self-discipline tend to exercise more regularly, eat healthier diets, get more sleep, and avoid harmful substances like tobacco and excessive alcohol. These habits compound over time, leading to significantly better health outcomes. In relationships, self-discipline manifests as the ability to control your temper, listen patiently, and behave respectfully even when you are frustrated or angry. People with greater self-discipline tend to have more stable, satisfying relationships because they do not let their impulses damage their connections with others. Financial success is also closely linked to self-discipline. The ability to save money, avoid impulse purchases, invest consistently, and live below your means are all expressions of self-discipline. Research has shown that the ability to delay gratification is one of the strongest predictors of financial well-being. The good news is that self-discipline is not a fixed trait. It is a skill that can be developed at any age. Like a muscle, it gets stronger with use and weaker with neglect. Every time you exercise self-discipline, you are strengthening your capacity for future self-discipline. One of the most important insights about self-discipline is that it is easier to maintain than to build. Once you have established discipline habits, they require less effort to maintain than the effort required to build them in the first place. This is why the initial investment in building self-discipline is so worthwhile. Self-discipline also creates a positive feedback loop. When you exercise self-discipline and achieve results, you build confidence in your ability to control your destiny. This increased confidence makes it easier to exercise self-discipline in the future. It is a virtuous cycle that propels you toward greater achievement. The relationship between self-discipline and freedom is counterintuitive. Many people think of discipline as the opposite of freedom, but the opposite is true. Self-discipline gives you the freedom to create the life you want. Without it, you are a slave to your impulses, emotions, and circumstances. In this book, we will explore the science, strategies, and practical tools for mastering self-discipline. We will look at how habits work, how to manage your willpower, how to overcome procrastination, and how to build the mental toughness that sustains discipline over the long term. By the end, you will have a comprehensive toolkit for mastering your mind and achieving your goals. Chapter 2. The science of willpower and self-control. Willpower is one of the most studied and debated topics in psychology. Understanding the science behind willpower can help you use it more effectively and develop strategies for when it runs out. Dr. Roy Baumeister, a psychologist at Florida State University, conducted groundbreaking research on willpower. His experiments showed that willpower operates like a muscle. It gets fatigued with use and needs to be replenished. This phenomenon is called ego depletion. In Baumeister's classic experiment, Participants who resisted the temptation of chocolate chip cookies gave up sooner on a subsequent puzzle-solving task than those who were not asked to resist temptation. This suggested that resisting one temptation depleted the resources needed to resist the next one. However, more recent research has challenged the ego depletion model. Some studies have found that the effects of ego depletion can be eliminated by changing people's beliefs about willpower. Participants who were told that willpower is unlimited did not show the ego depletion effect. This suggests that your beliefs about willpower matter. If you believe that your willpower is limited, it will be. If you believe it is unlimited, it may be. This has important implications for how you approach self-discipline. Glucose plays a role in willpower. The brain consumes approximately 20% of the body's energy, and it runs primarily on glucose. When blood glucose levels are low, willpower tends to be weaker. This is why you are more likely to give in to temptation when you are hungry or tired. Research has shown that eating a healthy meal or snack can temporarily restore willpower. However, this is not a long-term solution. The better approach is to develop habits and systems that reduce the need for willpower in the first place. Sleep deprivation significantly impairs willpower. When you do not get enough sleep, the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for self-control, does not function properly. This makes it much harder to resist temptations and make disciplined choices. Stress also depletes willpower. When you are stressed, your body produces cortisol, which impairs the function of the prefrontal cortex. This is why you are more likely to give in to comfort eating, impulsive shopping, or other unhealthy behaviors when you are stressed. The concept of mental contrasting, developed by Dr. Gabrielle Oettingen, is a powerful technique for strengthening willpower. It involves vividly imagining your desired outcome and then identifying the obstacles that stand in your way. This combination of positive visualization and realistic obstacle identification has been shown to increase goal attainment. Implementation intentions and other techniques studied by Oettingen involve creating specific if-then plans for how you will respond to temptations. For example, if I feel the urge to check social media while working, then I will take 3 deep breaths and refocus on my task. Research has shown that implementation intentions can double or triple the likelihood of following through on your intentions. The role of habits in reducing willpower demand is crucial. When a behavior becomes habitual, it requires less conscious effort and therefore less willpower. By developing good habits, you can effectively automate a large portion of your self-discipline. Self-control in the moment is important, but long-term self-discipline requires something deeper. It requires a clear sense of purpose, a strong identity, and an environment that supports your goals. These topics will be explored in detail in subsequent chapters. Understanding the science of willpower empowers you to use it strategically. Instead of relying on willpower alone, you can design your life to minimize willpower demands and maximize your chances of success. Chapter 3: Building habits that support discipline. Habits are the foundation of self-discipline. When you turn desired behaviors into habits, they become automatic and require little or no willpower. This is the key to sustaining discipline over the long term without burning out. The habit loop, identified by MIT researchers, consists of 3 components: a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue is the trigger that initiates the behavior. The routine is the behavior itself. The reward is the positive outcome that reinforces the behavior. Understanding this loop allows you to intentionally design new habits. For example, if you want to develop a habit of exercising every morning, the cue might be your alarm going off, the routine might be putting on your workout clothes and exercising for 30 minutes, and the reward might be the endorphin rush and sense of accomplishment afterward. Habit stacking is a technique that involves linking a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you already have a habit of brushing your teeth every morning, you might stack a new habit of doing 5 minutes of stretching onto it. After you brush your teeth, you stretch. This leverages existing neural pathways to make new habits easier to establish. The 2-minute rule, popularized by James Clear, states that when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. This reduces the resistance to starting and makes it easier to establish the habit. Once the habit is established, you can gradually increase the duration. Environment design is one of the most effective strategies for habit formation. Your environment influences your behavior more than you realize. If you want to eat healthier, remove junk food from your house and stock your kitchen with healthy options. If you want to exercise more, lay out your workout clothes the night before. Tracking your habits creates accountability and motivation. When you track your habits, you create a visual record of your progress that motivates you to continue. Research has shown that people who track their habits are significantly more likely to stick with them. The power of consistency and habit formation cannot be overstated. Research by Dr. Philip Lally found that it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit, though the range varies widely. The key is consistency. Even if you miss a day, get back on track immediately. Breaking bad habits is equally important. To break a bad habit, you need to identify the cue that triggers it, understand the reward it provides, and find a healthier alternative that provides a similar reward. For example, if you have a habit of stress eating, the cue might be feeling stressed, the routine might be eating junk food, and the reward might be temporary comfort. You can break this habit by finding a healthier alternative like taking a short walk, calling a friend, or practicing deep breathing. The compound effect is the principle that small, consistent actions performed over time produce remarkable results. Writing 500 words a day may not seem like much, but over the course of a year, it adds up to a full-length novel. Exercising for 30 minutes a day can completely change your health over the course of a year. Accountability is a powerful tool for habit formation. When you share your habit goals with others and commit to regular check-ins, you are much more likely to follow through. This is why accountability partners, coaches, and support groups are so effective. Identity-based habits, as described by James Clear, involve focusing on who you want to become rather than what you want to achieve. Instead of saying, I want to lose weight, say, I am a healthy person. This shift in identity creates a deeper motivation that supports habit formation. Patience and self-compassion are essential for habit formation. There will be setbacks and failures along the way. When this happens, treat yourself with kindness rather than harsh self-criticism. Research has shown that self-compassion is more effective than self-criticism for promoting long-term behavior change. By developing the right habits, you can effectively automate your self-discipline. The initial investment of effort and willpower pays dividends for years to come as your habits become stronger and more automatic. Chapter 4: Overcoming Procrastination. The ultimate enemy procrastination is the habitual delay of intended actions despite knowing that the delay will have negative consequences. It is one of the most common obstacles to self-discipline and success. Understanding why we procrastinate and developing effective strategies to overcome it is essential for mastering your mind. Contrary to popular belief, procrastination is not primarily a time management problem. It is an emotional regulation problem. Research by Dr. Timothy Pitchell has shown that we procrastinate to avoid negative emotions associated with a task, such as anxiety, boredom, frustration, or self-doubt. The procrastination equation, developed by Dr. Pierce Steele, identifies four factors that influence procrastination: expectancy, value, impulsiveness, and delay. Expectancy is your belief that you will succeed. Value is how enjoyable or meaningful you find the task. Impulsiveness is your tendency to give in to immediate temptations. Delay is how far away the deadline is. To overcome procrastination, you can address each of these factors. To increase expectancy, break tasks into smaller, more manageable pieces. To increase value, find ways to make the task more enjoyable or meaningful. To reduce impulsiveness, remove distractions and create a focused environment. To reduce delay, set intermediate deadlines and milestones. The Pomodoro technique is a popular time management method that can help overcome procrastination. It involves working in focused intervals of 25 minutes, separated by short breaks. The short time commitment makes it easier to start, and the regular breaks prevent burnout. The 2-minute rule can also help overcome procrastination. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately instead of putting it off. This prevents small tasks from accumulating and becoming overwhelming. Implementation intentions are another effective strategy. By creating specific event plans for how you will start a task, you reduce the decision-making required and make it easier to take action. For example, if it is 9 a.m., then I will open my document and write the first paragraph. The Zeigarnik effect is a psychological phenomenon wherein completed tasks occupy more mental space than completed ones. By simply starting a task, even for just a few minutes, You create an open loop that your brain wants to close. This can create a natural motivation to continue. Self compassion is important for overcoming procrastination. When you procrastinate, beating yourself up only makes things worse. It increases negative emotions and makes it even harder to start. Instead, acknowledge your procrastination without judgment and recommit to taking action. The connection between procrastination and perfectionism is significant. Perfectionists often procrastinate because they fear that their work will not meet their high standards. Learning to accept imperfection and focus on progress rather than perfection is essential for overcoming procrastination. Accountability can also help overcome procrastination. When you know that someone else is expecting you to follow through, you are much more likely to take action. This is why accountability partners and deadlines are so effective. Physical exercise can help overcome procrastination by reducing stress, improving mood, and increasing energy levels. Even a short walk can clear your mind and make it easier to start a task. The most important strategy for overcoming procrastination is to start. Do not wait until you feel motivated or until conditions are perfect. Just start. Motivation often follows action rather than precedes it. Once you have started, it is much easier to continue. Remember, procrastination is a habit, and like any habit, it can be changed. It takes time and consistent effort, but with the right strategies, you can overcome procrastination and develop the self discipline you need to achieve your goals. Chapter 5: The Power of Focus and Concentration. Focus is the ability to direct your attention to a specific task or goal while ignoring distractions. In our age of constant connectivity and information overload, the ability to focus deeply has become one of the most valuable and rare skills. Mastering focus is essential for self discipline and success. Research by Dr. Gloria Mark at the University of California, Irvine, has found that the average person checks their phone every 12 minutes and takes about 23 minutes to refocus after a distraction. This means that in a typical workday, you may never fully focus on any single task. The cost of distraction is enormous. A study by the University of London found that multitasking, which is really just rapid task switching, can reduce productivity by up to 40% and lower your IQ by as much as 10 points. Distractions do not just waste time, they fundamentally impair your cognitive ability. Deep work, a concept popularized by Cal Newport, is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. Newport argues that the ability to perform deep work is becoming increasingly rare and increasingly valuable in our economy. Those who cultivate this ability will have a significant advantage. To cultivate deep work, you need to create conditions that support sustained focus. This means eliminating distractions, setting aside dedicated time for focus work, and training your brain to concentrate for extended periods. Single tasking is the opposite of multitasking. It involves focusing on one task at a time until it is complete or until a predetermined time has elapsed. Research has consistently shown that single tasking is more efficient and produces higher quality work than multitasking. The Pomodoro technique is a simple but effective method for improving focus. It involves working in focused intervals of 25 minutes, followed by a 5-minute break. After 4 intervals, you take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. This technique trains your brain to focus for sustained periods while preventing burnout. Mindfulness meditation is one of the most effective ways to improve your ability to focus. By practicing sustained attention on a single object, such as your breath, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with attention and concentration. Research has shown that regular meditation practice can improve focus in as little as 4 days. Sleep is critical for focus. Sleep deprivation impairs attention, concentration, and cognitive function. Research has shown that getting less than 7 hours of sleep significantly reduces your ability to focus and perform complex tasks. Exercise also improves focus. Research has shown that regular physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, stimulates the production of BDNF, and enhances cognitive function. Even a single bout of exercise can improve focus for several hours afterward. Your environment plays a crucial role in your ability to focus. A cluttered, noisy, or chaotic environment makes it much harder to concentrate. Designing your workspace to minimize distractions and support focus is essential. Digital distractions are one of the biggest challenges to focus in the modern world. Social media, email, and notifications are designed to capture your attention and keep you engaged. Setting boundaries around technology use, such as turning off notifications and scheduling specific times to check email, can help protect your focus. The quality of your attention is influenced by your emotional state. Anxiety, stress, and worry consume mental resources and make it harder to focus. Developing emotional regulation skills through meditation, journaling, or therapy can improve your ability to focus. Music can either help or hinder focus, depending on the type of music and the task. Instrumental music without lyrics can improve focus for some people, while others work best in silence. Experiment to find what works best for you. Building your ability to focus is a gradual process. Start with short periods of focused work and gradually increase the duration. Over time, you will find that your ability to concentrate improves significantly. This improved focus will enhance every area of your life, from your work performance to your relationships. Chapter 6, Mental Toughness and Resilience. Mental toughness is the ability to remain consistent, focused, and determined in the face of adversity, stress, or pressure. It is the inner strength that keeps you going when everything around you seems to be falling apart. Mental toughness and self-discipline are deeply interconnected. You cannot have one without the other. Resilience, a key component of mental toughness, is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. Life is full of setbacks, disappointments, and failures. The question is not whether you will face them, but how you will respond when you do. Resilient people do not avoid pain or hardship. They develop the skills to navigate through it and come out stronger. Dr. Carol Dweck's research on mindset is central to understanding mental toughness. People with a growth mindset believe that their abilities can be developed through effort and learning. They see challenges as opportunities and failure as feedback. This mindset is the foundation of mental toughness. Consider the story of James Dyson, the inventor of the bagless vacuum cleaner. Dyson created 5,127 prototypes before perfecting his design. Each prototype was a failure, but each failure taught him something new. Today, Dyson's company is worth billions. His success was built on the mental toughness to persist through thousands of failures. Self-talk plays a crucial role in mental toughness. The way you talk to yourself in moments of challenge determines whether you persevere or give up. Positive, encouraging self-talk strengthens your resolve, while negative, defeated self-talk undermines it. Visualization is another powerful tool for building mental toughness. By vividly imagining yourself overcoming challenges and achieving your goals, you create a mental blueprint that guides your behavior. Research has shown that visualization activates the same neural pathways as actual performance. Emotional regulation is essential for mental toughness. When you can manage your emotions under pressure, you maintain clarity of thought and make better decisions. Techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness meditation, and cognitive reappraisal can help you regulate your emotions in challenging situations. The role of purpose in mental toughness is significant. When you have a clear sense of why you are doing what you are doing, you can endure almost any hardship. Viktor Frankl, who survived the Holocaust, argued that the ability to find meaning in suffering is the key to survival. Physical fitness supports mental toughness. Regular exercise reduces stress, improves mood, and increases resilience. Research has shown that physical fitness is correlated with greater mental toughness and psychological well-being. Building mental toughness requires deliberate practice. You need to consistently expose yourself to challenges that push you beyond your comfort zone. This might mean taking on difficult projects, having uncomfortable conversations, or pursuing ambitious goals. Recovery is an essential component of mental toughness. Just as athletes need rest days to recover from physical training, you need time to recover from mental and emotional stress. Overtraining, whether physical or mental, leads to burnout and diminished performance. The concept of antifragility, introduced by Nassim Nicholas Taleb, goes beyond resilience. While resilient systems withstand stress and return to their original state, antifragile systems actually get stronger when exposed to stress. By embracing challenges and learning from adversity, you can become antifragile. Community support is important for building mental toughness. Surrounding yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and support you makes it easier to maintain your resolve during difficult times. Mental toughness is not about being emotionless or invulnerable. It is about being adaptable, resilient, and committed to growth. It is about facing life's challenges with courage and grace. By developing mental toughness, you build the inner strength to handle whatever comes your way. Chapter 7. Mastering your emotions. Emotions are a fundamental part of the human experience. They influence your thoughts, behaviors, and decisions in profound ways. Mastering your emotions does not mean suppressing or ignoring them. It means experiencing them fully while choosing how to respond to them. This is one of the most important aspects of self-discipline. Research by Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett has shown that emotions are not hardwired reactions to external events. They are constructed by your brain based on your past experiences, current context, and expectations. This means that you have more control over your emotions than you might think. Emotional intelligence, as defined by Daniel Goleman, involves 5 key components: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Each of these components plays a critical role in emotional mastery. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional mastery. It is the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions as they occur. Without self-awareness, you are at the mercy of your emotions. With it, you can manage them effectively. Self-regulation is the ability to control disruptive emotions and impulses. People with strong self-regulation think before they act and make decisions based on reason rather than emotion. This does not mean they do not feel emotions. It means they do not let emotions dictate their behavior. The amygdala hijack, a term coined by Daniel Goleman, occurs when the amygdala triggers a fight or flight response before the prefrontal cortex has a chance to process the situation. This can lead to impulsive, emotionally driven decisions that you later regret. To prevent amygdala hijacks, practice the pause. When you feel a strong emotion rising, take a few deep breaths before responding. This brief pause gives your prefrontal cortex time to process the situation and make a more rational decision. Cognitive reappraisal is one of the most effective strategies for emotional regulation. It involves changing the way you interpret a situation to change the emotion it produces. For example, if you receive critical feedback, you might reappraise it as an opportunity to learn and improve rather than as a personal attack. Research has shown that cognitive reappraisal is more effective than emotional suppression. While suppression may temporarily reduce emotional distress, it can lead to increased stress and physical health problems over time. Mindfulness meditation is another powerful tool for emotional mastery. By practicing non-judgmental awareness, you learn to observe your emotions without being controlled by them. This creates space between the emotion and your response, allowing you to choose how you react. Research by Dr. Matthew Lieberman at UCLA has shown that simply labeling your emotions can reduce their intensity. When you name an emotion, such as saying to yourself, "I am feeling anxious," it activates the prefrontal cortex and reduces activity in the amygdala. Exercise is one of the most effective natural regulators of emotion. Physical activity reduces stress hormones, increases endorphins, and improves mood. Even a short walk can significantly improve your emotional state. Sleep is critical for emotional regulation. Sleep deprivation impairs the function of the prefrontal cortex and increases activity in the amygdala, making you more reactive to emotional stimuli. Prioritizing adequate sleep is essential for emotional mastery. Journaling can help you process and regulate your emotions. Writing about your feelings allows you to examine them more objectively and gain clarity about what is driving them. The goal of emotional mastery is not to eliminate emotions, but to develop a healthy relationship with them. Emotions provide valuable information about your needs, values, and environment. By learning to listen to your emotions without being controlled by them, you can make better decisions and build stronger relationships. Chapter 8. The role of purpose and values in self-discipline. Purpose and values are the foundation of lasting self-discipline. Without a clear sense of why you are doing what you are doing, even the best habits and strategies will eventually fail. Purpose gives your discipline meaning, and values provide a compass for your decisions. Viktor Frankl, in his book Man's Search for Meaning, argued that the primary motivational force in human life is the search for meaning. Frankl, who survived the Holocaust, observed that prisoners who had a sense of purpose were more likely to survive the horrors of the concentration camps than those who had lost all hope. Your purpose does not have to be grand or heroic. It can be as simple as wanting to provide a good life for your family, creating something beautiful, or making a positive difference in your community. What matters is that it is meaningful to you and gives you a reason to keep going when things get tough. Research has shown that people with a strong sense of purpose live longer, healthier, and more satisfying lives. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that people with a strong sense of purpose had a significantly lower risk of death from all causes compared to those without a clear purpose. Values are the principles and beliefs that guide your behavior. They are the standards by which you judge what is right, important, and worthy. When your actions are aligned with your values, you experience a sense of integrity and fulfillment. When they are not, you experience conflict and dissatisfaction. Identifying your core values is an important step in building self discipline. Common values include honesty, creativity, family, health, growth, freedom, and contribution. Take time to reflect on what matters most to you and write down your top 5 values. Once you have identified your values, use them as a guide for your decisions and actions. When faced with a choice, ask yourself, which option is more aligned with my values? This simplifies decision making and ensures that your actions are consistent with who you want to be. The connection between purpose, values, and self discipline is powerful. When you are clear about your purpose and values, self discipline becomes easier because you are motivated by something deeper than external rewards. You are driven by a sense of meaning and alignment that makes discipline feel natural rather than forced. Goal setting becomes more effective when it is grounded in purpose and values. Goals that are aligned with your deepest values are much more likely to be achieved because you have an intrinsic motivation to pursue them. Goals that are not aligned with your values feel like chores and are much harder to sustain. The concept of ikigai from Japanese culture provides a useful framework for finding your purpose. Ikigai is the intersection of what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. Finding your ikigai gives you a clear sense of direction and purpose. Legacy thinking can also support self discipline. Consider what you want to be remembered for. How do you want to have influenced the people around you? This long term perspective helps you stay focused on what truly matters and resist the temptation of short term gratification. When your discipline is anchored in purpose and values, it becomes much more resilient. External circumstances may change, challenges may arise, and setbacks may occur, but your purpose and values remain constant. They provide a stable foundation that keeps you grounded and focused. Take time to regularly reconnect with your purpose and values. Review them daily or weekly and ask yourself whether your actions are aligned with them. This practice of reflection and realignment is essential for maintaining self discipline over the long term. Chapter 9: Advanced Self Discipline Strategies. Once you have mastered the basics of self discipline, you can move on to more advanced strategies that take your discipline to the next level. These strategies are used by the most successful and disciplined individuals in the world. The pre-commitment strategy involves making decisions in advance that limit your future options. For example, if you want to eat healthier, you can meal prep on Sundays so that healthy meals are ready throughout the week. By removing the need to make decisions in the moment, you reduce the willpower required to stay on track. The commitment device is a tool that makes it harder to give in to temptation. For example, you can use a website blocker to prevent yourself from accessing social media during work hours, where you can give money to a friend with the agreement that you will only get it back if you achieve your goal. Temptation bundling, studied by Dr. Catherine Milkman at the University of Pennsylvania, involves pairing an activity you want to do with an activity you need to do. For example, you might only allow yourself to watch your favorite TV show while exercising. This makes the undesirable activity more enjoyable and increases the likelihood that you will do it. The Seinfeld strategy, named after comedian Jerry Seinfeld, involves tracking your daily progress and not breaking the chain. Seinfeld's advice to a young comedian was to write jokes every day and mark each day on a calendar with a red X. After a few days, you would have a chain. Your only job is to not break the chain. The 2-day rule is a strategy that prevents one missed day from becoming two. It is based on the principle that missing one day does not ruin a habit, but missing 2 days starts a new pattern. If you miss a day, get back on track immediately. Accountability partnerships are more effective than accountability groups because they create a stronger social commitment. When you are accountable to one specific person rather than a group, the social pressure is more direct and motivating. The power of public commitment is well documented in psychological research. When you make a commitment public, you create social accountability that makes it harder to back out. This is why public declarations of goals, such as posting on social media or announcing your goals to friends, can be effective. Reverse engineering your goals involves starting with your desired outcome and working backward to identify the steps needed to get there. This technique, used by NASA and other high performance organizations, creates a clear roadmap that guides your daily actions. The concept of minimum viable effort involves identifying the smallest possible action that moves you forward and committing to doing that, even on your worst days. On days when motivation is low, doing the minimum still keeps the habit alive and maintains momentum. Energy management, as opposed to time management, is a more advanced approach to self discipline. It involves aligning your most demanding tasks with your highest energy periods and saving routine tasks for when your energy is lower. Strategic rest is an advanced discipline strategy that involves taking deliberate breaks to recharge and recover. This might include meditation, naps, walks in nature, or social time. The key is to rest before you are exhausted, not after. The power of saying no is one of the most important advanced discipline strategies. Every time you say yes to something that does not align with your priorities, you are saying no to something that does. Learning to say no gracefully but firmly is essential for protecting your time and energy. Continuous improvement, inspired by the Japanese concept of kaizen, involves making small, incremental improvements every day. Instead of trying to make dramatic changes, focus on getting 1% better each day. Over the course of a year, this compounds into remarkable improvement. By implementing these advanced strategies, you can take your self discipline to a level that most people never achieve. The key is to experiment with different strategies, find the ones that work best for you, and apply them consistently. Chapter 10: Maintaining Self Discipline for Life. Building self discipline is one thing, maintaining it over a lifetime is another challenge entirely. Many people start with great intentions only to fall back into old patterns within weeks or months. The key to lifelong self discipline is creating systems and habits that sustain your discipline without constant effort. The compound effect is the principle that small, consistent actions produce remarkable results over time. This principle applies to self discipline as well. Every disciplined action you take, no matter how small, compounds over time to create extraordinary results. Habits are the foundation of lifelong discipline. Once a behavior becomes habitual, it requires less willpower and conscious effort to maintain. By building the right habits, you can automate much of your self discipline. Reviewing your progress regularly is essential for maintaining discipline. Take time each week to reflect on your habits, goals, and progress. Celebrate your wins, learn from your setbacks, and adjust your approach as needed. Adapting your approach as you grow and change is important. What worked for you in the past may not work in the future. Be willing to experiment with new strategies and adjust your approach based on your current needs and circumstances. Mentorship and coaching can play a valuable role in maintaining discipline. Having a mentor or coach who has been where you want to go can provide guidance, accountability, and encouragement. Many of the most successful people credit their mentors as a key factor in their success. Community is essential for sustaining discipline. Surround yourself with people who share your values and goals. Join communities of like-minded individuals who support and challenge you. The power of community should not be underestimated. Physical health is the foundation of mental discipline. You cannot sustain high levels of self-discipline if your body is not functioning optimally. Regular exercise, adequate sleep, proper nutrition, and stress management are essential. Rest and recovery are not signs of weakness. They are essential components of sustained performance. Build regular periods of rest and recovery into your routine to prevent burnout and maintain your discipline over the long term. Purpose and meaning are the ultimate sustaining forces for discipline. When you have a clear sense of why you are doing what you are doing, you can endure almost any hardship. Regularly reconnecting with your purpose and values helps maintain your discipline even during difficult times. Self-compassion remains important throughout your journey. There will be times when you fall short of your own expectations. Treating yourself with kindness and understanding is more effective than harsh self-criticism. Remember, discipline is not about perfection. It is about progress. Celebrating milestones along the way maintains momentum. When you achieve a goal or reach a milestone, take time to acknowledge and celebrate your accomplishment. This reinforces the positive behaviors that led to the achievement and motivates you to continue. Legacy thinking can sustain your discipline. Consider what you want to be remembered for. This long-term perspective helps you stay focused on what truly matters and resist the temptation of short-term gratification. The journey of self-discipline is one of the most rewarding you can undertake. It transforms not just your performance but your character. It gives you the strength to face adversity, the confidence to pursue your dreams, and the resilience to keep going when the going gets tough. Remember, you are not defined by your past. You have the power to build self-discipline at any time. Start today, be patient with yourself, and trust the process. The life you want is waiting on the other side of the discipline you are willing to build. Chapter 11. The philosophy of self-discipline. Self-discipline has been valued by philosophers and thinkers throughout human history. From the Stoics of ancient Greece to modern psychologists, the importance of self-mastery has been recognized as essential for a good life. Understanding the philosophical foundations of self-discipline can deepen your commitment to developing it. The Stoics, including Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, taught that the key to a good life is to focus on what you can control and accept what you cannot. This principle of focusing on your own thoughts, emotions, and actions rather than external circumstances is the foundation of self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, practiced self-discipline through daily reflection and journaling. His meditations, written during military campaigns, reveal a man committed to self-improvement and ethical living. His example shows that self-discipline is not about perfection but about consistent effort. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most influential Stoic teachers, taught that freedom comes not from external circumstances but from internal self-mastery. He believed that the ability to control your desires and impulses is the foundation of true freedom. Aristotle taught that virtue is developed through practice, not through innate talent or divine intervention. He believed that by consistently acting in accordance with reason and virtue, you develop the habits and character that lead to a good life. The concept of self-mastery, or self-governance, has been valued across cultures and throughout history. From Confucius in China to the Buddha in India, the idea that mastering oneself is the foundation of all other achievements has been a consistent theme. The concept of willpower, or self-control, has been studied by psychologists for over a century. Early researchers like William James viewed self-control as a fundamental aspect of character. Modern research has confirmed the importance of self-discipline for success and well-being. The philosophical concept of virtue ethics, which focuses on developing good character traits rather than following rules or maximizing outcomes, is closely related to self-discipline. By cultivating virtues like patience, perseverance, and temperance, you develop the character that supports self-discipline. The concept of the examined life, as described by Socrates, involves regular self-reflection and a commitment to understanding yourself and your values. This self-awareness is essential for self-discipline because it helps you align your actions with your deepest values. The existentialist philosophers, including Jean-Paul Sartre and Viktor Frankl, emphasize the importance of personal responsibility and choice. Frankl, who survived the Holocaust, argued that even in the most extreme circumstances, you have the freedom to choose your attitude and response. The Eastern philosophies of Zen Buddhism and Taoism emphasize the importance of mindfulness, balance, and harmony. These traditions teach that by being present, accepting what is, and acting in accordance with natural principles, you can achieve a state of effortless self-discipline. The practical wisdom of these philosophical traditions can be applied to modern self-discipline practices. By combining ancient wisdom with modern science, you can develop a comprehensive approach to self-mastery that is both practical and meaningful. Chapter 12. Self-discipline in the digital age. The digital age presents unique challenges to self-discipline. Smartphones, social media, streaming services, and other digital technologies are designed to capture your attention and keep you engaged. Learning to navigate these distractions while maintaining your discipline is essential for success in the modern world. Research by Dr. Gloria Mark has found that the average person checks their phone every 12 minutes. This constant checking fragments your attention and makes it difficult to engage in deep, focused work. Learning to manage your phone use is one of the most important self-discipline skills for the digital age. Social media platforms are designed to be addictive. They use algorithms that learn your preferences and serve you content that keeps you scrolling. Understanding these design principles can help you make more conscious choices about your social media use. The concept of digital minimalism, popularized by Cal Newport, involves being intentional about your technology use. Instead of passively consuming whatever is presented to you, choose technology that supports your goals and values and eliminate the rest. Screen time before bed is a significant problem for many people. The blue light emitted by screens interferes with melatonin production and disrupts sleep. Establishing a screen-free period before bed is essential for maintaining good sleep quality and self-discipline. Notification management is an important aspect of digital self-discipline. Most notifications are not urgent or important, but they interrupt your focus and fragment your attention. Turning off non-essential notifications can significantly improve your focus and productivity. The Pomodoro technique can be adapted for digital work. By working in focused intervals of 25 minutes without checking email, social media, or other digital distractions, you can significantly improve your productivity and self-discipline. Digital detox periods, where you intentionally disconnect from technology for a period of time, can help reset your brain's reward system and reduce dependence on digital stimulation. Even a single day without technology can have significant benefits for your mental health and self-discipline. The concept of attention residue, identified by Dr. Sophie Leroy, describes the phenomenon where your attention remains on a previous task even after you have moved on to a new one. Managing this residue through deliberate transitions between tasks can improve your focus and self-discipline. The practice of batching, where you group similar digital tasks together and complete them in a single block, can reduce the cognitive cost of switching between tasks and improve your efficiency and self-discipline. Using technology to support your self-discipline can be more effective than trying to resist it through willpower alone. Apps for habit tracking, focus mode, website blocking, and time management can help you stay on track. The key to self-discipline in the digital age is intentionality. Instead of letting technology control you, take control of your technology use. Choose the tools that support your goals and eliminate the ones that distract you. This is the essence of digital self-discipline. Chapter 13. The Role of Sleep in Self-Discipline. Sleep is one of the most important and most neglected aspects of self-discipline. When you do not get enough sleep, your cognitive function, emotional regulation, and willpower are all significantly impaired. Prioritizing sleep is essential for maintaining self-discipline. Research has shown that sleep deprivation impairs the function of the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive functions like planning, decision-making, and impulse control. When you are sleep deprived, your ability to resist temptation and make disciplined choices is significantly reduced. The amygdala becomes hyperactive when you are sleep deprived, making you more reactive to emotional stimuli. This means that you are more likely to respond impulsively and emotionally rather than thoughtfully and rationally. Sleep is essential for memory consolidation. During sleep, your brain replays and strengthens the neural connections formed during the day. This means that sleep after learning something new significantly improves retention and understanding. Most adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night for optimal functioning, while some people claim to function well on less. Research has consistently shown that the vast majority of people need at least 7 hours for optimal cognitive and physical health. Sleep hygiene refers to the habits and practices that support good sleep. Key aspects include maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, creating a relaxing bedtime routine, keeping your bedroom cool and dark, and limiting caffeine and screen time before bed. The circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock, regulates your sleep-wake cycle. Maintaining a consistent sleep schedule helps synchronize your circadian rhythm, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up naturally. Napping can be a powerful tool for maintaining self-discipline. Research has shown that a short nap of 20 to 30 minutes can improve cognitive function, mood, and alertness. However, napping for too long or too late in the day can interfere with nighttime sleep. The relationship between sleep and physical health is well documented. Sleep deprivation is associated with increased risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and weakened immune function. Maintaining good sleep habits is essential for both physical and mental health. Exercise can improve sleep quality, but the timing matters. Moderate exercise during the day promotes better sleep, but intense exercise close to bedtime can interfere with sleep. Aim to finish your workout at least a few hours before bed. Alcohol may help you fall asleep faster, but it disrupts sleep quality. Research has shown that alcohol reduces REM sleep, which is important for memory consolidation and emotional regulation. Limiting alcohol intake is important for maintaining good sleep quality. The concept of sleep debt, the cumulative effect of not getting enough sleep, can have serious consequences for your self discipline and overall health. While you can partially repay sleep debt with extra sleep, the best strategy is to consistently get enough sleep each night. By prioritizing sleep and developing good sleep habits, you can significantly improve your self discipline, cognitive function, and overall well being. Sleep is not a luxury, it is a necessity for maintaining the mental resources needed for self discipline. Chapter 14, Building an Unbreakable Self Discipline System. Self discipline is most effective when it is built into a comprehensive system rather than relying on willpower alone. An unbreakable self discipline system includes habits, routines, environment design, accountability, and regular review. By creating the system, you can maintain your discipline even when motivation is low. The foundation of your system is your habits. Habits are automatic behaviors that require little or no willpower. By developing the right habits, you can automate a large portion of your self discipline. The key is to start small and build consistency before increasing the difficulty. Your routines provide structure for your day. Morning routines set the tone for your day, and evening routines help you wind down and prepare for sleep. By establishing consistent routines, you reduce the number of decisions you need to make and free up mental resources for more important tasks. Environment design is one of the most powerful tools in your self discipline system. By arranging your physical and digital environments to support your goals, you reduce the willpower needed to maintain discipline, remove distractions, add positive cues, and create systems that make positive behaviors easier. Accountability is a critical component of your system. When you know that someone else is tracking your progress and expecting you to follow through, you are much more likely to maintain your discipline. Consider finding an accountability partner, joining a mastermind group, or hiring a coach. Regular review is essential for maintaining your system. Take time each week to review your habits, goals, and progress. Celebrate your wins, learn from your setbacks, and adjust your approach as needed. This regular reflection keeps you on track and helps you continuously improve. The concept of keystone habits, identified by Charles Duhigg, are habits that trigger a cascade of other positive changes. Exercise is a common keystone habit that often leads to better eating, improved sleep, and increase productivity. Identifying and building keystone habits can have a multiplier effect on your self discipline. The power of small wins in maintaining self discipline cannot be overstated. Each small success builds confidence and momentum, making it easier to take on larger challenges. By focusing on small, achievable steps, you create a positive feedback loop that sustains your discipline. The concept of commitment devices, tools that make it harder to give in to temptation, can strengthen your system. Examples include website blockers, accountability partners, and public commitments. These devices add an external layer of discipline that supports your internal efforts. Energy management, as opposed to time management, is an advanced component of your system. By aligning your most demanding tasks with your highest energy periods and saving routine tasks for when your energy is lower, you can maximize your effectiveness and maintain your discipline. The power of saying no is a crucial skill in your self discipline system. Every time you say yes to something that does not align with your priorities, you are saying no to something that does. Learning to say no gracefully but firmly protects your time and energy. Self compassion is an often overlooked component of an effective self discipline system. When you slip up or fail to meet your standards, treating yourself with kindness rather than harsh self criticism helps you recover faster and maintain your motivation. The combination of these components creates a comprehensive system that supports your self discipline from multiple angles. When one component falters, the others provide support. This redundancy makes your system resilient and sustainable over the long term. Building an unbreakable self discipline system takes time and effort, but the investment pays enormous dividends. When your discipline is built into a comprehensive system, it becomes much easier to maintain. You are no longer relying on willpower alone. You have created a structure that supports your goals and values. Remember, the goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. Build your system gradually, experiment with different approaches, and find what works best for you. Over time, Your system will become stronger and more effective, supporting you in achieving your goals and becoming the person you want to be. Chapter 15: The Art of Saying No. Learning to say no is one of the most important self-discipline skills you can develop. Every time you say yes to something that does not align with your priorities, you are saying no to something that does. The ability to say no gracefully but firmly is essential for protecting your time, energy, and focus. Many people struggle with saying no because they fear conflict, rejection, or disappointing others. They prioritize pleasing others over protecting their own needs and goals. This leads to overcommitment, stress, and burnout. The concept of opportunity cost is central to understanding the importance of saying no. Every commitment has an opportunity cost, which is the value of what you give up when you choose one option over another. By saying yes to everything, you spread yourself too thin and miss out on the most important opportunities. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in history, is known for his ability to say no. He has said that the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. The power of no lies in its ability to protect your most valuable resource, which is your time. Time is finite and non-renewable. Once spent, it cannot be recovered. By being selective about how you spend your time, you ensure that it is invested in the things that matter most. Saying no is not selfish. It is necessary for your well-being and for your ability to show up fully for the people and commitments that matter most. You cannot help others effectively if you are depleted and overwhelmed. The art of saying no involves being clear about your priorities, communicating your boundaries, and doing so with respect and kindness. A simple, direct no is often the most effective approach. You do not need to provide elaborate explanations or justifications. The concept of the yes ladder can help you say no more effectively. When someone asks you to do something, start by acknowledging the request, then explain why you cannot fulfill it, and finally offer an alternative if possible. This approach shows respect while maintaining your boundaries. The power of saying no extends to your digital life as well. Saying no to unnecessary notifications, email overload, and social media distractions protects your attention and allows you to focus on what matters most. Learning to say no to yourself is also important. The ability to resist your own impulses, delay gratification, and stay focused on your long-term goals is a form of self-discipline that is essential for success. The concept of hell yes or no, popularized by Derek Sivers, suggests that you should only say yes to things that excite you. If something does not make you say hell yes, it should be a no. This approach ensures that your time and energy are invested in the things that truly matter. Practicing saying no in low-stakes situations can help you build the confidence to say no in higher-stakes situations. Start with small requests and gradually work your way up to more challenging ones. The ability to say no is closely linked to self-respect. When you honor your boundaries and protect your time, you communicate to yourself and others that your needs and priorities matter. By mastering the art of saying no, you reclaim control over your time and energy. You create space for the things that matter most and reduce the stress and overwhelm that come from overcommitment. This is the essence of self-discipline and the key to a fulfilling life. Chapter 16: Building Discipline Through Physical Training. Physical training is one of the most effective ways to build self-discipline. The habits, skills, and mental toughness you develop through physical training transfer directly to every other area of your life. The discipline required to maintain a regular exercise routine is the same discipline required for success in business, academics, relationships, and personal growth. By committing to physical training, you develop the mental muscles that support all other forms of achievement. Resistance training, in particular, builds discipline through progressive overload. By gradually increasing the weight, repetitions, or intensity of your workouts, you learn to push beyond your comfort zone and embrace discomfort. This practice builds mental toughness that transfers to other areas of your life. Cardiovascular exercise builds discipline through consistency. Maintaining a regular cardio routine requires showing up day after day, even when you do not feel like it. This consistency builds the habit of discipline that supports all other goals. The concept of progressive overload applies to self-discipline as well. By gradually increasing the demands you place on yourself, you build your capacity for discipline over time. Start with small challenges and progressively increase the difficulty. The early morning workout is a particularly powerful discipline builder. By getting up early to exercise, you start your day with a sense of accomplishment and prove to yourself that you are capable of doing difficult things. The practice of pushing through discomfort during physical training teaches you to tolerate discomfort in other areas of your life. When you learn to finish a tough workout despite wanting to quit, you build the mental toughness needed to persevere through challenging situations. Tracking your physical progress, whether through weight lifted, miles run, or body measurements, provides motivation and accountability. The visible evidence of improvement reinforces your commitment and builds confidence. Group exercise and team sports provide additional discipline benefits through social accountability. When you know that others are counting on you to show up, you are more likely to follow through. The concept of the training log, where you record your workouts, progress, and reflections, can be applied to other areas of your life. Tracking your habits, goals, and progress creates accountability and provides valuable data for continuous improvement. Rest and recovery are important aspects of physical training that also apply to self discipline. Just as your muscles need rest to recover and grow, your willpower needs rest to replenish. Building periods of rest into your routine prevents burnout and sustains your discipline over the long term. The nutritional aspects of physical training also support discipline. Eating a healthy diet requires planning, self control, and long term thinking. By paying attention to your nutrition, you develop additional discipline skills that transfer to other areas of your life. The competition and goal setting aspects of physical training provide opportunities to practice discipline in a structured way. Setting performance goals, working toward them systematically, and evaluating your progress builds the discipline skills needed for success in any field. By making physical training a non negotiable part of your life, you create a foundation of discipline that supports everything else. The physical strength you build is matched by the mental strength that develops alongside it. Chapter 17: The Long Game, Patience, and Persistent Success is not a sprint, it is a marathon. The ability to play the long game, to be patient and persistent in the pursuit of your goals, is one of the most important aspects of self discipline. Many people give up too soon, not because they lack the ability to succeed, but because they lack the patience to see their efforts through. The concept of the compound effect, as discussed earlier, illustrates the power of patience. Small, consistent actions performed over time produce remarkable results, but these results often take months or years to materialize, requiring patience and persistence. The Japanese concept of kaizen, or continuous improvement, embodies the principle of the long game. By making small, incremental improvements every day, you create extraordinary change over time. The key is consistency and patience. Thomas Edison is a classic example of patience and persistence. He failed over 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that will not work." His patience and persistence eventually led to one of the most important inventions in history. The concept of delayed gratification, the ability to resist immediate rewards in favor of larger future rewards, is central to playing the long game. Research has shown that people who are better at delaying gratification tend to be more successful in life. Patience is closely related to trust. When you trust the process and believe that your efforts will eventually pay off, it is easier to be patient. This trust is built on evidence from past experiences and on the knowledge that consistent effort over time produces results. The practice of visualization can support patience and persistence. By vividly imagining your future success, you create a mental image that sustains your motivation during difficult times. This vision of the future provides the fuel you need to keep going. Setting milestones along the way helps maintain patience and motivation. When you break a long term goal into smaller, intermediate goals, you create opportunities for celebration and reinforcement that keep you motivated. The role of community in supporting patience and persistence is significant. Having people who believe in you and encourage you during difficult times makes it easier to stay the course. The concept of strategic patience, the ability to wait for the right moment to act, is an advanced form of patience. It involves being patient not just with outcomes but with timing. Sometimes the best strategy is to wait for the right opportunity rather than forcing action. Persistence does not mean stubbornly continuing with a failing approach. It means persisting with your goals while being flexible about your methods. If something is not working, Be willing to adjust your approach while maintaining your commitment to the goal. The power of small daily choices in playing the long game cannot be overstated. Every day, you make choices that either move you closer to or further from your goals. Over time, these daily choices compound into extraordinary results. Self compassion is important for maintaining patience and persistence. There will be setbacks and failures along the way. Treating yourself with kindness rather than harsh self criticism helps you recover faster and maintain your motivation. The long game is ultimately about faith in yourself, in the process, and in the future. By cultivating patience and persistence, you build the mental toughness needed to achieve your most ambitious goals and create a life of meaning and fulfillment. Chapter 18. The philosophy of self-discipline. Self-discipline has been valued by philosophers and thinkers throughout human history. From the Stoics of ancient Greece to modern psychologists, the importance of self-mastery has been recognized as essential for a good life. The Stoics, including Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, taught that the key to a good life is to focus on what you can control and accept what you cannot. This principle is the foundation of self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, practiced self-discipline through daily reflection and journaling. His meditations reveal a man committed to self-improvement and ethical living. Epictetus taught that freedom comes not from external circumstances but from internal self-mastery. He believed that the ability to control your desires and impulses is the foundation of true freedom. Aristotle taught that virtue is developed through practice, not through innate talent. By consistently acting in accordance with reason and virtue, you develop the habits and character that lead to a good life. The concept of self-mastery has been valued across cultures. From Confucius to the Buddha, the idea that mastering oneself is the foundation of all other achievements has been a consistent theme. The existentialist philosophers emphasized personal responsibility and choice. Viktor Frankl argued that even in the most extreme circumstances, you have the freedom to choose your attitude in response. The Eastern philosophies of Zen Buddhism and Taoism emphasize mindfulness, balance, and harmony. These traditions teach that by being present and acting in accordance with natural principles, you can achieve effortless self-discipline. Modern psychology has validated many of these ancient insights. Research on self-regulation, habit formation, and emotional intelligence confirms the principles that philosophers have taught for centuries. The concept of akrasia, the tendency to act against your better judgment, was identified by Aristotle. Understanding this tendency and developing strategies to overcome it is central to self-discipline. The philosophical concept of virtue ethics, which focuses on developing good character traits, is closely related to self-discipline. By cultivating virtues like patience, perseverance, and temperance, you develop the character that supports self-discipline. The practical wisdom of these philosophical traditions can be applied to modern self-discipline practices. By combining ancient wisdom with modern science, you can develop a comprehensive approach to self-mastery. Chapter 19. Self-discipline and financial success. Financial success is closely linked to self-discipline. The ability to save money, avoid impulse purchases, invest consistently, and live below your means are all expressions of self-discipline. Understanding this connection can help you build wealth and financial security. The concept of delayed gratification is central to financial success. The ability to resist immediate spending in favor of saving and investing for the future is one of the most important financial skills. Research has shown that financial self-discipline is a better predictor of financial well-being than income level. People who manage their money carefully, regardless of their income, tend to be more financially secure than those who earn more but spend carelessly. The habit of paying yourself first, saving a portion of your income before spending on anything else, is a powerful expression of financial self-discipline. This habit ensures that you are building wealth consistently over time. Budgeting is a financial self-discipline practice that involves tracking your income and expenses and making conscious choices about how to allocate your resources. A budget is not a restriction. It is a plan that helps you achieve your financial goals. The concept of lifestyle inflation, where your spending increases as your income increases, is a common trap that undermines financial success. Maintaining a consistent lifestyle even as your income grows allows you to save more and build wealth faster. Investing requires self-discipline because it involves making decisions based on long-term goals rather than short-term emotions. The ability to stay invested during market downturns and avoid panic selling is a key aspect of financial self-discipline. The power of compound interest means that small amounts saved consistently over time can grow into significant wealth. This requires the self-discipline to save regularly and the patience to let compound interest work its magic. Financial literacy is important for financial self-discipline. Understanding concepts like interest rates, inflation, investment returns, and tax implications helps you make better financial decisions. The role of automation in supporting financial self-discipline is significant. By automating your savings, investments, and bill payments, you reduce the need for willpower and make disciplined financial behavior automatic. The concept of financial independence, having enough savings and investments to live without needing to work, is the ultimate expression of financial self-discipline. Achieving financial independence requires consistent saving, investing, and living below your means over many years. The relationship between financial stress and overall well being is significant. Financial self discipline reduces financial stress, which improves your mental and physical health and supports your overall quality of life. By developing financial self discipline, you create the foundation for financial security and freedom. This discipline gives you the ability to make choices based on your values and goals rather than being constrained by financial limitations. Chapter 20: Self Discipline and Emotional Intelligence. Self discipline and emotional intelligence are closely interconnected. Emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage your emotions and the emotions of others, is essential for effective self discipline. Without emotional intelligence, your self discipline efforts are likely to be undermined by unmanaged emotions and impulsive reactions. Self awareness, the foundation of emotional intelligence, is essential for self discipline. When you are aware of your emotions, triggers, and patterns, you can manage them more effectively. Self awareness allows you to recognize when you are about to give in to temptation and make a conscious choice to resist. Self regulation, a key component of emotional intelligence, is essentially the same as self discipline. It involves controlling disruptive emotions and impulses, thinking before you act, and making decisions based on reason rather than emotion. The concept of emotional agility, identified by Dr. Susan David, involves being flexible with your thoughts and feelings so that you can respond effectively to changing situations. Emotional agility is essential for self discipline because it allows you to manage your emotions without being controlled by them. Research has shown that people with high emotional intelligence tend to have greater self discipline. They are better at managing their impulses, delaying gratification, and staying focused on their goals. This is because emotional intelligence provides the awareness and skills needed for effective self regulation. The role of empathy in self discipline is significant. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, can support self discipline by helping you consider the impact of your actions on others. This broader perspective can motivate you to exercise discipline even when it is difficult. Social skills, another component of emotional intelligence, support self discipline by helping you build relationships that encourage and reinforce disciplined behavior. People with strong social skills are better at building support networks, seeking accountability, and navigating social situations that require discipline. The relationship between emotional intelligence and stress management is important for self discipline. People with high emotional intelligence are better at managing stress, which reduces the depletion of willpower and supports consistent self discipline. Mindfulness meditation is a practice that enhances both emotional intelligence and self discipline. By training your ability to observe your emotions without being controlled by them, mindfulness supports both emotional regulation and self control. The concept of cognitive reappraisal, changing the way you interpret a situation to change the emotion it produces, is a strategy that supports both emotional intelligence and self discipline. By reappraising challenging situations, you can manage your emotions and maintain your discipline. Research has shown that emotional intelligence can be developed through practice. By engaging in practices that strengthen your emotional awareness, regulation, empathy, and social skills, you enhance your capacity for self discipline. The combination of emotional intelligence and self discipline creates a powerful foundation for success. When you can manage your emotions effectively and maintain discipline consistently, you are well equipped to handle the challenges and opportunities that come your way. Chapter 21: The future of self-discipline. The future of self-discipline is shaped by technological, social, and psychological trends that are transforming how we live and work. Understanding these trends and adapting your approach to self-discipline is essential for maintaining your edge in a rapidly changing world. The rise of artificial intelligence and automation is changing the nature of work. As machines take over routine and repetitive tasks, the uniquely human skills of creativity, emotional intelligence, and self discipline become more valuable than ever. The gig economy and non traditional career paths are becoming increasingly common. This shift requires greater self discipline because you are more responsible for managing your own time, motivation, and productivity without the structure of a traditional workplace. Remote work, which has become increasingly common, requires exceptional self discipline. Without the structure and accountability of an office environment, you need to create your own routines, manage your own distractions, and maintain your own motivation. The attention economy, where technology companies compete for your attention, presents new challenges for self discipline. Learning to manage your attention and resist the constant pull of notifications, social media, and digital distractions is essential. The concept of digital wellness, the practice of using technology in a way that supports your well being, is becoming increasingly important. Developing self discipline around technology use is essential for maintaining your focus, productivity, and mental health. The growing recognition of mental health as a priority is creating new opportunities for self discipline practices. Meditation, mindfulness, and other mental wellness practices are becoming mainstream, providing tools for developing self discipline and emotional regulation. The science of habit formation continues to advance, providing new insights and tools for building effective habits. Understanding these advances can help you develop more efficient and sustainable approaches to self discipline. The concept of personalized medicine, where treatments are tailored to individual characteristics, may eventually extend to self discipline. Understanding your unique neurological and psychological profile could help you develop more targeted and effective discipline strategies. The integration of self discipline with other skills like emotional intelligence, creativity, and social intelligence is becoming increasingly important. The most effective approach to self discipline is one that considers the whole person, not just their willpower. The role of community in supporting self discipline is becoming more important as traditional social structures weaken. Online communities, mastermind groups, and coaching programs provide the support and accountability that people need to maintain their discipline. The concept of lifelong self discipline, maintaining your discipline throughout your life, is becoming increasingly important as people live longer and change careers more frequently. Building sustainable self discipline practices that can adapt to changing circumstances is essential. By understanding these trends and adapting your approach to self discipline, you can maintain your edge in a rapidly changing world. The future belongs to those who can adapt, learn, and grow. Self discipline is the foundation that makes all of this possible. Chapter 22. The role of sleep in self discipline. Sleep is one of the most important and most neglected aspects of self discipline. When you do not get enough sleep, your cognitive function, emotional regulation, and willpower are all significantly impaired. Prioritizing sleep is essential for maintaining your discipline. Research has shown that sleep deprivation impairs the function of the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive functions like planning, decision making, and impulse control. When you are sleep deprived, your ability to resist temptation and make disciplined choices is significantly reduced. The amygdala becomes hyperactive when you are sleep deprived, making you more reactive to emotional stimuli. This means that you are more likely to respond impulsively and emotionally rather than thoughtfully and rationally. Sleep is essential for memory consolidation. During sleep, your brain replays and strengthens the neural connections formed during the day. This means that sleep after learning something new significantly improves retention and understanding. Most adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night for optimal functioning. While some people claim to function well on less, research has consistently shown that the vast majority of people need at least 7 hours. Sleep hygiene refers to the habits and practices that support good sleep. Key aspects include maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, creating a relaxing bedtime routine, keeping your bedroom cool and dark, and limiting caffeine and screen time before bed. The circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock, regulates your sleep wake cycle. Maintaining a consistent sleep schedule helps synchronize your circadian rhythm, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up naturally. Napping can be a powerful tool for maintaining self discipline. Research has shown that a short nap of 20 to 30 minutes can improve cognitive function, mood, and alertness. The relationship between sleep and physical health is well documented. Sleep deprivation is associated with increased risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and weakened immune function. Exercise can improve sleep quality, but the timing matters. Moderate exercise during the day promotes better sleep, but intense exercise close to bedtime can interfere with sleep. Alcohol may help you fall asleep faster, but it disrupts sleep quality. Research has shown that alcohol reduces REM sleep, which is important for memory consolidation and emotional regulation. Relaxation techniques like progressive muscle relaxation, deep breathing, and meditation can help you fall asleep faster and improve sleep quality. The concept of sleep debt, the cumulative effect of not getting enough sleep, can have serious consequences for your self discipline and overall health. By prioritizing sleep and developing good sleep habits, you can significantly improve your self discipline, cognitive function, and overall well being. Sleep is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Chapter 23: The Power of Routine and Structure. Routines and structures are the framework that support self discipline. They provide consistency, reduce decision fatigue, and make disciplined behavior automatic. Developing effective routines and structures is essential for maintaining self discipline over the long term. Morning routines set the tone for your day. Many of the world's most successful people have elaborate morning routines that include exercise, meditation, journaling, and planning. Starting your day with intentional, positive activities creates momentum that carries you through the rest of the day. Evening routines are also important. A consistent evening routine that includes reflection, planning, and relaxation can improve your sleep quality and set you up for a productive next day. The concept of time blocking, where you schedule specific blocks of time for specific tasks, is an effective strategy for creating structure. By assigning dedicated time to your most important tasks, you ensure that they get the attention they deserve. The power of consistency and routines cannot be overstated. When you do the same things at the same time each day, they become automatic and require less willpower. This frees up your mental resources for more challenging tasks. Decision fatigue, the deterioration of decision making quality after making many decisions, is a real phenomenon. Routines reduce decision fatigue by automating many of the decisions you would otherwise have to make throughout the day. The concept of keystone habits, identified by Charles Duhigg, are habits that trigger a cascade of other positive changes. Exercise is a common keystone habit that often leads to better eating, improved sleep, and increased productivity. Environment design is an important aspect of creating structure. By arranging your physical spaces to support your routines, you make disciplined behavior easier and more automatic. The role of accountability in maintaining routines is significant. When you share your routines with others and commit to following them, you are more likely to stay on track. Flexibility within structure is important. While routines provide consistency, they should also be adaptable to changing circumstances. Being able to adjust your routines without abandoning them is a sign of mature self discipline. The power of small wins in maintaining routines is significant. Each time you complete a routine task, you build confidence and momentum. Focus on making small improvements every day. The concept of habit stacking, where you link new habits to existing routines, is an effective way to build new behaviors. By attaching new habits to established routines, you leverage existing neural pathways to make new habits easier to form. Reviewing and adjusting your routines regularly is important. As your goals and circumstances change, your routines should evolve with them. Regular reflection and adjustment keep your routines relevant and effective. By developing effective routines and structures, you create a framework that supports your self discipline and makes disciplined behavior automatic. This framework is the foundation for sustained success and achievement. Chapter 24: The Art of Self Reflection. Self reflection is the practice of examining your thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and experiences to gain insight and understanding. It is a powerful tool for self discovery, personal growth, and the development of self discipline. Research has shown that self reflection is associated with greater self awareness, better decision making, and improved emotional regulation. People who regularly reflect on their experiences are better able to learn from their mistakes and make positive changes. The concept of the examined life, as described by Socrates, involves regular self reflection and a commitment to understanding yourself and your values. Socrates famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Journaling is one of the most effective tools for self reflection. Writing down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences allows you to examine them more objectively and identify patterns that might be difficult to see otherwise. The practice of daily reflection, where you spend a few minutes each day reviewing your experiences, can provide valuable insights into your behavior and help you make adjustments as needed. The concept of the growth journal, where you record not just what happened, but also what you learned and how you grew, can accelerate your personal development. Asking yourself powerful questions is a key aspect of self reflection. Questions like what went well today? What could I have done better? What did I learn? What am I grateful for? Can provide valuable insight and direction. The role of meditation in self reflection is significant. Meditation creates the mental space needed for deep self examination and provides the clarity to see yourself and your experiences more clearly. Feedback from others is an important complement to self reflection. While self reflection provides insight from your own perspective, feedback from others provides a different perspective that can fill in blind spots. The concept of the Johari window, which identifies areas of yourself that are known to you, known to others, hidden, and unknown, provides a framework for understanding the value of both self reflection and feedback. The practice of regular self assessment, where you evaluate your progress toward your goals and identify areas for improvement, is an important aspect of self reflection. Self reflection is not about self criticism or self judgment. It is about honest, compassionate self examination that leads to greater understanding and positive change. By incorporating regular self reflection into your routine, you develop greater self awareness, make better decisions, and continue to grow and improve throughout your life. Chapter 25, Building an Unbreakable Self Discipline System. Self discipline is most effective when it is built into a comprehensive system rather than relying on willpower alone. An unbreakable self discipline system includes habits, routines, environment design, accountability, and regular review. The foundation of your system is your habits. By developing the right habits, you can automate a large portion of your self discipline. The key is to start small and build consistency before increasing the difficulty. Your routines provide structure for your day. Morning routines set the tone for your day, and evening routines help you wind down and prepare for sleep. By establishing consistent routines, you reduce the number of decisions you need to make. Environment design is one of the most powerful tools in your system. By arranging your physical and digital environments to support your goals, you reduce the willpower needed to maintain discipline. Accountability is a critical component of your system. When you know that someone else is tracking your progress and expecting you to follow through, you are much more likely to maintain your discipline. Regular review is essential for maintaining your system. Take time each week to review your habits, goals, and progress. Celebrate your wins, learn from your setbacks, and adjust your approach as needed. The concept of keystone habits, identified by Charles Duhigg, are habits that trigger a cascade of other positive changes. Identifying and building keystone habits can have a multiplier effect on your self discipline. The power of small wins in maintaining self discipline cannot be overstated. Each small success builds confidence and momentum, making it easier to take on larger challenges. The concept of commitment devices, tools that make it harder to give in to temptation, can strengthen your system. Examples include website blockers, accountability partners, and public commitments. Energy management, as opposed to time management, is an advanced component of your system. By aligning your most demanding tasks with your highest energy periods, you can maximize your effectiveness. The power of saying no is a crucial skill in your self discipline system. Learning to say no gracefully but firmly protects your time and energy. Self compassion is an often overlooked component of an effective self discipline system. When you slip up, treating yourself with kindness rather than harsh self criticism helps you recover faster. The combination of these components creates a comprehensive system that supports your self discipline from multiple angles. When one component falters, the others provide support. By creating and following a comprehensive self-discipline system, you take a proactive approach to your development and create the conditions for sustained success and achievement. Chapter 26: The Philosophy of Self-Mastery. Self-mastery is the ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in alignment with your values and goals. It is the ultimate expression of self-discipline and the foundation of a meaningful, successful life. The Stoics taught that self-mastery is the key to a good life. By focusing on what you can control and accepting what you cannot, you achieve a state of inner peace and effectiveness that is not dependent on external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius practiced self-mastery through daily reflection and journaling. His meditations reveal a man committed to self-improvement and ethical living, even in the face of immense challenges. The concept of self-governance, the ability to govern yourself according to rational principles, has been valued across cultures and throughout history. The Eastern philosophies of Zen Buddhism and Taoism emphasize the importance of mindfulness, balance, and harmony in achieving self-mastery. Modern psychology has validated many of these ancient insights. Research on self-regulation, habit formation, and emotional intelligence confirms the principles that philosophers have taught for centuries. The practical wisdom of self-mastery can be applied to every area of your life, from your work and relationships to your health and personal growth. Self-mastery is not about perfection. It is about consistent effort and continuous improvement. Every day presents an opportunity to strengthen your self-mastery and become the person you want to be. By committing to the journey of self-mastery, you create a life of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. This is the ultimate reward of self-discipline and the foundation of a life well lived. Chapter 27: The Legacy of Self-Discipline. Self-discipline is not just about achieving personal success. It is about creating a legacy that extends beyond your own life. The habits, values, and character you develop through self-discipline influence the people around you and the world you leave behind. The concept of legacy thinking involves considering what you want to be remembered for and how you want to have influenced the people around you. This long-term perspective helps you stay focused on what truly matters. The impact of self-discipline on future generations is significant. When you model disciplined behavior, you teach your children, colleagues, and community members the value of self-control and perseverance. Research has shown that children who grow up with disciplined role models tend to develop better self-regulation skills themselves. Your self-discipline has a ripple effect that extends far beyond your own life. The concept of intergenerational transfer of values suggests that the values and habits you develop are passed on to your children and grandchildren. By developing self-discipline, you create a legacy of strength and character that endures. The role of mentorship in creating a legacy is significant. By mentoring others and sharing your knowledge and experience, you multiply your impact and create a lasting legacy. Philanthropy and community service are expressions of self-discipline that create lasting positive change. Using your resources and influence to make a difference in the world enriches both your life and the lives of others. The concept of servant leadership, where you lead by serving others, creates a legacy of positive influence. Servant leaders inspire and empower others, creating a ripple effect of growth and development. The stories you tell and the values you embody become part of your legacy. By living with integrity, purpose, and self-discipline, you create a story that inspires and guides future generations. The ultimate legacy of self-discipline is the example you set. When others see you pursuing your goals with determination, overcoming obstacles with resilience, and living with integrity, you inspire them to do the same. By committing to self-discipline and living with purpose, you create a legacy that extends far beyond your own lifetime. This is the true power and meaning of self-discipline. Chapter 28: The Philosophy of Self-Discipline. Self-discipline has been valued by philosophers throughout human history. From the Stoics to modern psychologists, the importance of self-mastery has been recognized as essential for a good life. The Stoics taught that the key to a good life is to focus on what you can control and accept what you cannot. This principle is the foundation of self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius practiced self-discipline through daily reflection and journaling. His example shows that self-discipline is not about perfection, but about consistent effort. Epictetus taught that freedom comes from internal self-mastery. The ability to control your desires and impulses is the foundation of true freedom. Aristotle taught that virtue is developed through practice. By consistently acting in accordance with reason and virtue, you develop the character that leads to a good life. The concept of self mastery has been valued across cultures and throughout history. The existentialist philosophers emphasized personal responsibility and choice. Viktor Frankl argued that even in extreme circumstances, you have the freedom to choose your attitude. Modern psychology has validated many of these ancient insights. By committing to the journey of self mastery, you create a life of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. This is the ultimate reward of self discipline. Chapter 29. The legacy of self discipline. Self discipline is not just about achieving personal success, it is about creating a legacy that extends beyond your own life. The habits, values, and character you develop through self discipline influence the people around you and the world you leave behind. The concept of legacy thinking involves considering what you want to be remembered for and how you want to have influenced the people around you. The impact of self discipline on future generations is significant. When you model disciplined behavior, you teach your children and community members the value of self control and perseverance. Research has shown that children who grow up with disciplined role models tend to develop better self regulation skills themselves. The role of mentorship in creating a legacy is significant. By mentoring others and sharing your knowledge, you multiply your impact and create a lasting legacy. The stories you tell and the values you embody become part of your legacy. By living with integrity and purpose, you create a story that inspires future generations. The ultimate legacy of self discipline is the example you set. When others see you pursuing your goals with determination and overcoming obstacles with resilience, you inspire them to do the same. By committing to self discipline and living with purpose, you create a legacy that extends far beyond your own lifetime. This is the true power and meaning of self discipline. Chapter 30. The power of daily habits. Daily habits are the building blocks of self discipline. The habits you practice every day determine your outcomes more than any single decision or action. By developing the right daily habits, you can automate your success. The habit loop, identified by MIT researchers, consists of a cue, a routine, and a reward. Understanding this loop allows you to intentionally design new habits. Starting small is essential for habit formation. Making the behavior as small and easy as possible reduces resistance and makes it easier to establish the habit. Habit stacking, linking a new habit to an existing one, leverages established neural pathways to make new habits easier to form. The 2-minute rule states that new habits should take less than 2 minutes to do. Once the habit is established, the duration can be gradually increased. Environment design is one of the most effective tools for habit formation. By arranging your environment to support positive behaviors, you reduce the willpower needed. Tracking your habits creates accountability and motivation. People who track their habits are significantly more likely to stick with them. The compound effect of small daily habits is significant. Over time, small daily actions compound into remarkable results. The power of consistency in habit formation cannot be overstated. It takes an average of 6 days to form a new habit. The key is consistency. By developing the right daily habits, you create a foundation for self discipline and success that supports you in every area of your life. Chapter 31. The power of habits and self discipline. Habits are the foundation of self discipline. When you turn desired behaviors into habits, they become automatic and require little or no willpower. The habit loop consists of a cue, a routine, and a reward. Understanding this loop allows you to intentionally design new habits. Starting small is essential for habit formation. Making the behavior as small and easy as possible reduces resistance. Habit stacking leverages established neural pathways to make new habits easier to form. Environment design is one of the most effective tools for habit formation. Tracking your habits creates accountability and motivation. The compound effect of small daily habits is significant. Over time, small daily actions compound into remarkable results. By developing the right habits, you create a foundation for self discipline and success. Chapter 32. The philosophy of self discipline. Self discipline has been valued by philosophers throughout human history. From the Stoics to modern psychologists, the importance of self mastery has been recognized as essential for a good life. The Stoics taught that the key to a good life is to focus on what you can control and accept what you cannot. Marcus Aurelius practiced self discipline through daily reflection and journaling. By committing to the journey of self-mastery, you create a life of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. Table of Contents, Chapter 1. What is self-discipline and why it matters, Chapter 2. The Science of Willpower and Self-Control, Chapter 3. Building Habits that Support Discipline, Chapter 4. Overcoming Procrastination, the Ultimate Enemy, Chapter 5. The Power of Focus and Concentration, Chapter 6. Mental Toughness and Resilience, Chapter 7. Mastering Your Emotions, Chapter 8. The Role of Purpose in Values and Self-Discipline, Chapter 9. Advanced Self-Discipline Strategies, Chapter 10. Maintaining Self-Discipline for Life, Chapter 11. The Philosophy of Self-Discipline, Chapter 12. Self-Discipline and the Digital Age, Chapter 13. The Role of Sleep in Self-Discipline, Chapter 14. Building an Unbreakable Self-Discipline System, Chapter 15. The Art of Saying No, Chapter 16. Building Discipline Through Physical Training, Chapter 17. The Long Game, Patience and Persistence, Chapter 18. The Philosophy of Self-Discipline, Chapter 19. Self-Discipline and Financial Success, Chapter 20. Self-Discipline and Emotional Intelligence, Chapter 21. The Future of Self-Discipline, Chapter 22. The Role of Sleep in Self-Discipline, Chapter 23. The Power of Routine and Structure, Chapter 24. The Art of Self-Reflection, Chapter 25. Building an Unbreakable Self-Discipline System, Chapter 26. The Philosophy of Self-Mastery, Chapter 27. The Legacy of Self-Discipline, Chapter 28. The Philosophy of Self-Discipline, Chapter 29. The Legacy of Self-Discipline, Chapter 30. The Power of Daily Habits, Chapter 31. The Power of Habits and Self-Discipline, Chapter 32. The Philosophy of Self-Discipline.